Now, if you've been here a while, you know I am constantly talking about how Benefit Cosmetics should do a bit of a rebrand, how they have great products, and perhaps they're not hitting the right market with their products. I'm always saying they need to rebrand, they need to update their style. They seem to be a little bit stuck in time. But honestly, it looks like they might be doing just exactly that. I saw these in Boots, which is like a drugstore here, pharmacy in the UK. And I saw these and I was like, who is that? Whose blush is that? I love blush. I will always buy blush. I will always buy lip products. And I saw it was Benefit. Because right next to it, I saw this Hoola. And I love me some Hoola. And this is their bronzing balm. So I was like, let me try that out, which I will. But I saw these. They're Play Daze Airy Liquid Blush. The packaging of these, the aesthetic of these gives fresh, more modern Benefit, which I'm really impressed and happy to see. Oh, I'm so hungry. I'm very intrigued to see if the formulas live up to the new glow up. So today we are putting them to the test. Is this the start of a new era for Benefit? I'll be very interested to see where they go from here. So let's do it. Subscribe if you have not already. Give this video a thumbs up. If you like videos like this, these are always on Mondays. These more makeup focused videos, application, reviewing, talking about makeup, maybe some tutorials here and there. Then do make sure you come back to my channel every Monday if you like those old style, I was about to say Victorian, I meant makeup, I don't know why Victorian's in my mind, makeup videos. Okay, so as I said, this is their Play Daze Airy Liquid Blush. Sorry for me looking down, I'm just reading their website. These are £30, so I'm guessing they're around similar price in dollars. Weightless cloud-like color that blends seamlessly, right? Something I said a few videos back, I can't remember, the words you are gonna be seeing this year. Cloud. It's gonna be cloud everything. That matte, diffuse, blurred on the lips, diffused on the cheeks. Cloud's gonna be everywhere. And I like it. I like that style. I like that matte diffused look because you can team it up with shimmers, shines, whatever you want to do, highlights. So the shades in this are Apricotta, which is a warm apricot. That's one of the ones we have. We have Starla, which is a soft neutral rose, which I have too. I was just looking at that thinking, I wish I got that, but that is the one. I thought it was this one I had. Willa, which is soft neutral rose. And this looks stunning. Berry, which is blackberry. They claim it's long wearing, waterproof, non-comedogenic, buildable, sheer coverage, and a natural matte finish. What else? They say heavy blush is getting you down. No, not with Play Daze. This airy blush practically floats onto cheeks thanks to the weightless, transformative texture. It goes on as a velvety light liquid, then sets into a diffused, natural matte finish. Microsphere powder in the formula helps create a blurred, caught in the clouds effect. Just dot it on and blend it out for an instant soft focus look that will leave your cheeks glazed. Dazed even, not glazed. Glazed is not the look we're going for. I actually really like this packaging itself. It's giving KBeauty in a way. Like the packaging's fun, it's cute. You can imagine it on a keychain. I like the grippy handle. It's not too difficult to open and close. I love the matte, like frosted matte look as well. So you can still see that color through. Is it actually, yeah, you can still see that's the actual color in there. There's no smell, which is fine. I am curious about the applicator. It's very rounded and like to the point, you know what I mean? So for precision, it is really just gonna give you that dose. Usually, sometimes, let me just check. So there's no doe foot. Usually there's a doe foot. And what that means is when you put the doe foot into the actual component itself, the product sits in the doe foot. So you have quite a lot of product in that one go. I quite like this idea that it's just a round felt tip thing because you're just applying 1, 2, no less, no extra. And I'm guessing if it's like a lot of cream or liquid blushes, it's going to have a lot of pigment. This is the shade. It's quite bronzy actually. That's a lot more bronzy than I expected it to be, but that's nice. I do like that. I do like smells in my products. I do like a fragrance. I know not everyone does, so that's no biggie. So it says pump applicator up and down and then dot onto cheeks. Do they mean in here? Because I hate pumping products because you're pumping air into your product. Like when people pump their mascara, you're pumping and drying out. I don't pump, I loosen. Same with mascaras, loosen this a little bit and then I'll circle it around like this. So you're going around the edges because I hate pumping air into the product. Let's try this shade this side. So this is Starla. It's a little bit darker. So I'm gonna put it like midway on my cheekbone here. So not quite underneath because I want to do bronzer, not quite on top. What does it say? Dab onto cheeks and blend. So in the picture they're using their finger. So let's just do that. Okay, that's quite pigmented to me. Like that's gonna blend quite far. And that was 2 dots. So the initial texture itself is quite nice. It is less cloudy than I would have. What's this? Should I get rid of that light? Does that help? No. Does it? Let me turn this down. Oh, that's because they're so bright. Let me turn this down. Okay, that does blend it out quite a bit. That was 2 dots. And it is quite a bit of color there. Let's leave it like that for a minute to sit and stew. And let's go in with Apricotta. You wonder why all the names are quite fancy. Apricotta, Starla, and then the last one's Berry. Can call it Berryla. So I'm gonna go in with the 2 dots again. I think that was about right. It does blend really well, and it actually goes on beautifully with a finger. I think when you're using the cream blush that has that kind of powdery finish to it, you don't need to worry too much about your finger interrupting or interfering with the texture of your foundation underneath as you push the product on, because it kind of sits nicely on top of foundation. This color is really nice. I like this. If you want something quite neutral, that's beautiful. That's probably my favorite out of the 2. So my one thing I was going to say about this, I wouldn't say it was completely matte to a point where it is flat and dry, you know what I mean? Like it looks beautiful on the skin. I actually really like it. Like I think it's got a really nice finish to it. Let's try and build it up a little bit more. So let's do another 2 dots. Okay, yeah, okay. I was just trying with a brush, but I probably definitely wouldn't use a brush. It's working much nicer with fingers. I think the formula blends nicely with fingers. I think the blend is nicer with fingers. Did I just say the same thing twice? I think it blends out nicer. Like, I think with matte products like this, ones that are like a little bit powdery, I think you almost need the pressure off a finger to get like that full vibe from it and to move it around. Whereas when I do it with a brush, you'll see it really does hardly move. I definitely like, that's pretty much gone. I definitely prefer it with a finger 100%. And just it seems to come out with more pigment when you're using your finger. I really do like them. I do worry about my lighting. Let me just see if I can focus on myself over here. I do worry about my lighting sometimes makes it look patchy when it's just like the reflection of a light. I do really like it. I think that's really beautiful. I'm actually just gonna put a dot of the opposite color on each cheek. So I'm going to put the darker one here just to even it out a little bit. But I am finding I can build this up quite a bit and it doesn't seem to be getting overly pigmented. Do you see what I mean? Like it's still, okay, maybe it is. I take my blush quite wide anyway. I do like that. I like that quite a lot. I'm gonna add a little bit of the the Balm bronzer in Original. Is that the shade Original? Okay, well here's what I'll do. I'll let this sit on my skin for a good 2 hours because I have some other videos to film and I don't think I'm changing my makeup too much. So I will come back and we'll see how it's sitting within that time. Oh right, we are a good hour later. Let's take a look at my cheeks here. They have remained quite matte. Now listen, I just have glowy skin. I can't help it. So you can see like a bit of a shine underneath. However, it has stayed very matte. It has stayed very matte. It actually looks really nice on the skin. The one thing I would say is that I don't consider it blurring, right? Cloudy to me means a little bit blurry, a little bit like, ooh. But to me, something like, again, the Fui pudding pots are more blurry. It's that velvety smooth and actually looks like it's blurring on the skin, or in a way that it kind of distorts light, you know, so you can't see the skin underneath. Whereas this does just look like a matte blush. It almost just looks like a powder blush, to be honest with you. I do think they're pretty nice. I actually think that they look really nice. It'll be interesting to see if they sit well, like on the lips, for example. I think that'll be really interesting to try, and does feel very matte on the skin. Like it doesn't feel like greasy or anything like that. I do like these. I do just feel like probably there's some things you couldn't really wear it with, in terms of like, I feel like if you're doing a really nice full coverage foundation, I think it will go really well. If you're using something like a little bit sheerer like I have, I think you might need to build up the color like quite a bit more, just because I feel like it does sometimes just look like skin. It could potentially look a little bit rashy if you're not using it with the right products, but it is a beautiful formula and a beautiful texture. I actually think it's really nice, and maybe even a little bit less just in the concentrated areas I think would be really good. That's really beautiful. The bronzer's really nice as well. But yeah, I would definitely recommend giving these a go. I think they are beautiful, and I feel like if you're the kind of person who maybe does a fuller coverage foundation, and maybe you need something to break up that flat surface a little bit more. Perhaps you don't like highlight, perhaps you don't like too much blush, perhaps you don't really like bronzer or contour. Something like this, which almost is a very controllable, manageable product, I think will be really beautiful just to add a flush of color to even it out. I actually do think it might look good on just bare skin as well. Something about the sheerer foundation that I'm wearing, I don't think it works well with. It's a beautiful finish, it's a beautiful texture. I really like it, but perhaps not with the foundation I'm wearing now. All right, let me know your opinions down below in the comments. Do you think this is a new era for Benefit? Are we getting out that kind of like kind of like advertising? I think they're on the right tracks. Let me know how you feel down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.